Hi, my name is Pamela for the ones who don't know me. And before I start with the video, I would like to invite you to click on the links that are in the description below. And these are my books that I published at the beginning of the year. So these are for my Spanish speaker viewers, and well, really soon I'm going to be translating them, okay? So no further say, I would like just to address, two different scenarios when we are in a dating, scene or in the dating life. Dating, that nowadays is really difficult, especially when there are a few things that we don't recognize. And which are these things that sometimes we don't recognize? It can be some red flags. We can skip them because maybe we normalize these things as we are following some patterns since we're children, or other situations. But the thing is that I'm going to talk about what it's like to date somebody who is narcissistic and to date somebody who is healthy or very confident. Start with narcissistic people, how it's like to actually date with them. So the first thing that you're going to encounter is that they are going to be really charming at the beginning, and you need to be really suspicious of somebody who's given too much at first, because that's the way they have to catch you and to hook you into them. Because at the end, when they change and they show you their true colors, then you're going to be craving this person they were in the beginning, and that's what's gonna keep you stuck. And this abuse cycle when they degrade you, then they love bomb you, and so, and that what keeps you there. So when somebody's giving too much at the beginning, this is something to be aware of and watch out for it. And the second thing is that when you start, meeting with them, having encounters, when going to dinner, they talk about themselves a lot. And if you notice that it is your time to talk about something, to share, and they just place their attention somewhere else, these people is not going to be listening to you, especially when it is an important matter in a conversation where you need to listen. You're going to feel that it's going to be one-sided because you're just in a space with them. They're talking about their grandiosity, all of the things about themselves. It's all about me, but there's not one single question to you, or even showing some interest into what you're doing in life and all this stuff. So this is something to also be careful and pay attention, because it's in a way showing you that it's a little bit egocentric. Which leads me to the next characteristic of somebody who's very narcissistic, and especially when you're dating with them, is that they are not going to look any problem solving. These people is always problematic. They're going to blame on you on anything that's happening in the relationship, because they will never take responsibility for their actions. So whatever they do, they are going to also blame it on you. And when you feel that you need to talk about maybe what you're feeling or what actually happened, you're going to feel like you're actually talking to a wall, because they are not going to be taking the time to acknowledge not only what they did, but what is it that you're saying. And they're just going to try to look for a way to make you feel really confused. And the last one that I would like to acknowledge is that they don't have very lasting friends. They don't have this bond with people. And the ones that they have, maybe they have just acquaintance, and the one that they have, sometimes they even mouth them, and they never say something positive about other people. So this is something that it's going to be then applied to you. So they start off like that. You're going to, or you have to see how is it that maybe they treat their parents. That's another red flag. How they treat their family members and their closest friends. And if they start bad-mouthing their closest friend, or even if you see like their friends are more likely very toxic, they start saying these things just to trigger you, to make you feel bad, maybe it's because it's a reflection of them as well, or her as well. So these are the traits that I just wanted to address about, dating a narcissist. And now, how is it just to date with somebody who is the opposite? Somebody confident, somebody healthy. So it's completely different from what I actually described at the beginning of the video. And the first thing that you will see is that when you start dating, you're going to have conversation with both of you participate. And this is really funny because you're going to feel really comfortable by sharing your experience, whether they are really good or bad. You're going to feel comfortable, and especially you're going to be yourself. And this is a trait that is really common, especially on people that is really healthy. And the other one that is really common to see is that, once you start having a relationship with this person, you have this sense of freedom. You have this sense of liberty that you are able to do something else without being with them all the time. And you actually know that you're not pretending to be telling them about your whereabouts, because you know that they trust you completely. And this time apart, it's really necessary for you, not only because that allows you just to develop your own activities, but also because that allows you just to miss each other and know how important you are as long or in the time that you are apart. So this is something that you can also see when you're having a relationship with somebody that is really healthy. They allow you just to have your time by yourself, and they are not going to be making you feel guilty about it whatsoever. So the other trait that is also really common in this type of healthy relationship is that there is, aiming to resolve or solving, any type of problem. When you have any issues, because this is really common when you're in a relationship, you are very different people, and sometimes you're going to have some disagreements. But that doesn't mean that you don't love each other. But what it is important is how you solve this problem. And if you talk about them and you feel like the other person is supportive, is trying to understand, but you're also open to understand this other person, and maybe, being willing or open, to change these little things that maybe make the other person uncomfortable and so on, that's what makes the relationship work. Hence, I'm not saying that you need to change who you are for the other person, because that's a really completely different thing. But more like acknowledging these little things that perhaps makes the other person uncomfortable that can make the relationship better, but doesn't actually change you of how you are. I don't know if I explain myself in this case. And the last one that I would like to address in this type of dynamic is that, that there is this relationship that is very playful. There is a space where you can be yourself, you feel so free that you always, making jokes without hurting each other. You feel like you can laugh with this other person and, be like a child again, and not feeling this situation where they're gonna pick on you or they're going to say something inappropriate that is gonna, end the mood. You're going to feel free. You're going to feel like you're able to be playful without being judged. And it's a really pretty thing that it's worth the time and the experience, and it is something that we need to work on and realize which are the traits that we're looking for in order for us to identify them while we're dating with somebody else. So if you like the video, but the most important part, it was very useful for you, I would like you to subscribe into my channel, to give me a thumb up, but the most important part is that you share it. And as I always say, I do this with all my love, and see you the next time. Bye bye.